China, land of ancient dynasties, legendary emperors, and revolutionary inventions. Occupying nearly the entire East Asian landmass, China is approximately about 1/14 of the Earth's total land area, making it almost as vast as the whole of Europe. It is also among the most populous nations, with only India surpassing it in population as of 2023, according to United Nations estimates. For over 5,000 years, this vast civilization has shaped the course of history, from the rise of the first dynasties to the birth of silk, paper, and the Great Wall. Through war and peace, glory and downfall, China has evolved into one of the most powerful nations in the world today. Join us as we journey through time to uncover the fascinating history of China, its triumphs, its struggles, and the legacy it leaves behind. Prehistory in China. Archaeology in China has been closely tied to the country's modern history. During the 1920s, intellectual and political reformers began questioning the historical accuracy of legendary cultural figures such as Shenong, the divine farmer, and Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor. Meanwhile, Western archaeologists and paleoanthropologists were conducting scientific research on China's prehistoric past. The establishment of the Academia Sinica, now the Chinese Academy of Sciences, in 1928 provided Chinese scholars with the opportunity to explore their own archaeological heritage. This led to large-scale excavation efforts, with significant discoveries made under the leadership of archaeologist Li Qiliji at Anyang in Hunan province. However, these efforts were interrupted in 1937 due to the Sino-Japanese War. Further setbacks occurred during the Civil War of the late 1940s and the subsequent periods of social unrest, delaying systematic archaeological research and publication. By the mid-1970s, as the Cultural Revolution subsided, archaeological studies resumed with renewed focus. In 1979, the China Association of Archaeology was founded, signaling a new era of research. With modernization efforts underway, China began producing archaeological scholarship on a scale and depth that reflected both its vast history and long-standing academic traditions. Early humans. The Zhaokudian site, located near Beijing, is a significant archaeological discovery that provides key insights into human origins. China's fossil record has played a crucial role in understanding early human evolution. Evidence of Homo erectus from the Lower Paleolithic period, approximately 2.5 million to 10,000 years ago, has been found at multiple sites, including Lantian in Shaanxi, Hexian in Anhui, Yuanmi in Yunnan, and the renowned Peking Man remains at Zhaokudian in Beijing. The lower cave at Zhaokudian contains traces of human activity dating back approximately 460,000 to 230,000 years, while fossils of Peking Man discovered at the site have been dated to around 770,000 years ago. Numerous caves and sites in northern China, including those in Anhui, Hebei, Hunan, Liaoning, Shandong, Shaanxi, and Shaanxi, as well as in southern regions such as Guizhou and Hubei, indicate that Homo erectus was widely distributed across China. However, whether H. erectus pekinensis intentionally used fire or engaged in ritual cannibalism remains a topic of debate. In addition to Homo erectus, fossilized cranial and dental remains of Homo sapiens have been discovered alongside Middle Paleolithic artifacts at sites such as Dinkan in Shaanxi, Changyang in Hubei, Dali in Shaanxi, Zujiao in Shaanxi, and Maba in Guangdong. Features such as shovel-shaped incisors, broad noses, and mandibular tori link these fossils to modern Asian populations. However, relatively few archaeological sites have been identified in southern China. Several Homo erectus sites, dating back approximately 1.8 million years to the early Pleistocene epoch, display significant regional and temporal diversity. Upper Paleolithic sites are particularly abundant in northern China. Excavations at Xiaonanhai near Anyang, Shuaxian and Qinshui in Shaanxi, and Yangyuan in Hebei have uncovered thousands of small stone tools, known as microliths, suggesting a widespread microlithic culture. Additionally, hematite, a common iron oxide, or used for coloring, was found scattered around skeletal remains in the upper cave at Zhaokudian, dating to around the 10th millennium BC. This may represent one of the earliest indications of human ritual practices. Neolithic period in China. The Neolithic period in China, marked by significant advancements in stone tool technology, food production, and social organization, is often referred to as the Neolithic Revolution. By the 6th millennium BCE, these developments were well underway and laid the foundation for the major cultural shifts that would characterize the subsequent Bronze Age. Climate and environment. While the exact nature of the paleo-environment is still debated, it is believed that the temperatures in Neolithic China were likely to 4 degrees Celsius to 7 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than present-day temperatures. Precipitation, though more abundant, may have been decreasing over time. The Qin Mountains, located in north-central China, separated the phytogeographical zones of northern and southern China, influencing the climate and the movement of Neolithic populations. In eastern China, particularly the southern regions, dense vegetation, deciduous forests, and marshlands likely covered the landscape. In contrast, the lowest plateau to the north and west of the Qin Mountains was drier, even semi-arid, with coniferous forests on the hills and brushwood and open woodlands in the valleys. Food production. By the 5th millennium BCE, the primary crops of the Neolithic period in China were drought-resistant millet Sitaria italica, cultivated in the lowest soils of the northwest and north, and glutinous rice Oryza sativa, grown in the wetlands of the southeast. These staples were supplemented by various fruits, nuts, legumes, vegetables, and aquatic plants. Animal protein came primarily from pigs, dogs, fish, and shellfish. By the Bronze Age, crops like millet, rice, soybeans, tea, mulberries, hemp, and lacquer had become staple agricultural products in China. The fact that most, if not all, of these plants were native to China highlights the indigenous development of Neolithic culture. The distinct agricultural systems of the northern and southern zones during this time suggest the possibility of at least 2 independent traditions of plant domestication. Stone tools and agricultural advancements. Stone tools, including those used for clearing and preparing land, show evidence of improving technology. There was an increasing use of ground and polished edges, as well as perforations in tools. Regional variations in tool shapes included oval-shaped axes in central and northwest China, square, and trapezoidal-shaped axes in the east, and axes with stepped shoulders in the southeast. By the late Neolithic period, a reduction in the number of stone axes compared to adzes indicated the growing importance of permanent agriculture and less focus on clearing new land. The burial of finely polished, perforated stone and jade tools, such as axes and adzes, in high-status graves suggests that these tools began to acquire a symbolic significance by the 4th and 3rd millennia BCE, representing status rather than practical use. The history of China is marked by a series of dynastic reigns, each contributing to the development of its civilization, culture, and political structure. From the legendary Xia dynasty to the fall of the Qing dynasty, these dynasties spanned thousands of years and shaped the course of Chinese history. Each dynasty brought innovations in governance, technology, philosophy, and trade, leaving behind a rich cultural heritage. The rise and fall of these dynasties were influenced by internal struggles, foreign invasions, and shifts in power, but they collectively laid the foundation for modern China. The following overview traces the key dynasties of China, from the ancient Xia to the last imperial dynasty, the Qing, highlighting their significant achievements and the challenges they faced. 1. Xia Dynasty c. 2070 to 1600 BCE. Considered the first dynasty in traditional Chinese history, though its historical existence is debated due to limited archaeological evidence. Known for establishing the concept of dynastic rule and early developments in Chinese culture. 2. Shang Dynasty c. 1600 to 1046 BCE. The first historically verified Chinese dynasty, with extensive archaeological findings. Famous for its advanced bronze work, oracle bones' earliest form of Chinese writing, and a strong centralized government. 3. Zhou Dynasty c. 1046 to 256 BCE. The longest-lasting dynasty in Chinese history. Divided into 2 periods, the Western Zhou 1046 to 771 BCE and Eastern Zhou 770 to 256 BCE. The Eastern Zhou is further split into the Spring and Autumn period and the Warring States period, known for the rise of philosophical schools such as Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism. 4. Shen Dynasty to 21206 BCE. Known for unifying China after the Warring States period. The first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, standardized weights, measures, and writing, and constructed the Great Wall of China. The dynasty was short-lived but laid the foundation for Imperial China. 5. Han Dynasty 206 BCE to 220 CE. Considered one of the golden ages of Chinese civilization, marked by political stability, economic growth, and cultural flourishing. The Silk Road was established during this period, connecting China to Central Asia and beyond. The Han Dynasty saw major advancements in science, technology, and philosophy. 6. Three Kingdoms to 2080 CE. A period of division after the fall of the Han Dynasty, when China was divided into three rival states, Wei, Shu, and Wu. This era is legendary in Chinese culture, often romanticized in literature, particularly in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. 7. Jin Dynasty to 65 to 420 CE. A brief reunification followed by division into the Eastern Jin and other smaller kingdoms, known for cultural development but marked by internal struggles and invasions by northern tribes. 8. Sui Dynasty 581 to 618 CE. Known for reunifying China after several centuries of division, the dynasty made significant contributions to infrastructure, such as the Grand Canal, but was short-lived due to overextension and internal rebellion. 9. Tang Dynasty 618 to 907 CE, a high point in Chinese civilization, marked by economic prosperity, cultural achievement, and territorial expansion. The Tang Dynasty saw the flourishing of the arts, literature, and the spread of Buddhism in China. The dynasty eventually weakened due to internal strife and rebellions. 10. Song Dynasty 960 to 1279 CE. Known for its technological innovations, including the invention of gunpowder, the compass, and printing. The dynasty was divided into two periods, the Northern Song 960 to 1127 CE and the Southern Song 1127 to 1279 CE. The Southern Song was marked by cultural achievements and advancements in trade, but it fell to the Mongols. 11. Yuan Dynasty 1271 to 1368 CE. Established by the Mongol leader Kublai Khan after the conquest of the Song Dynasty. The Yuan Dynasty unified China under foreign rule, and it saw advancements in trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road. Despite its initial success, the Mongols faced internal rebellion, and the dynasty was eventually overthrown. 12. Ming Dynasty 1368 to 1644 CE. Known for restoring native Chinese rule after the fall of the Yuan Dynasty. The Ming era was marked by economic prosperity, the construction of the Forbidden City, and the voyages of Zheng He. The dynasty gradually weakened due to internal corruption and external threats. 13. Qing Dynasty 1644 to 1912 CE. The last imperial dynasty of China, founded by the Manchu people from the northeast. The Qing dynasty expanded China's borders to their greatest extent, but it faced internal strife, foreign invasions, and revolutionary movements. The dynasty collapsed in 1912 after the Xinhai Revolution, leading to the establishment of the Republic of China. These dynasties shaped China's history, culture, and civilization, leaving a lasting legacy on the country and the world. And that brings us to the end of part 1, where we've journeyed through China's fascinating prehistory and the rise of its dynasties. From the first human inhabitants to the formation of powerful kingdoms, China's rich history is both complex and captivating. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for part 2. Don't miss it. See you in the next video.